Time for your ABC 36 Storm Team forecast.
A wet start to this Thursday, especially here in central Kentucky. That rain falling at a moderate to even heavy clip around the morning commute, especially with that frontal boundary stalled out over southeastern Kentucky. It is now moving out, and that's going to allow us to dry out nicely with some sunshine returning, along with pleasant temperatures on Friday. A little 50-50 weekend on the way. A nice start Saturday before the wet weather is back for Sunday. So you know the drill. Get those outdoor plans in. For the first half of the weekend, it is looking quiet and pleasant for Veterans Day on Monday. The showers winding down, but we've got a lot of cloudiness and low-level moisture hanging around. That drier air taking its time working in. So can't rule out a little patchy drizzle, I think, as we roll through the evening hours. Rainfall totals from our Kentucky mesonet, primarily here along the I-64 corridor south of it. The Madison County site, almost an inch and a half right at it there in Boyle County. Same story in Rowan County over the last 24 hours. Farther north you go, less. Farther south you go, less as well. In fact, parts of southeastern Kentucky barely seeing anything. Mount Sterling in front of the Montgomery County Courthouse, now 57 with the sun having set officially within the last 10 minutes or so. Of course, the cloudiness kind of holding things in check. 67, though, at the mesonet site in Wayne County near Monticello. Bit of a temperature gradient today with the slow departure of that front. We had low 70s south and southeast, hanging in the upper 50s and low 60s here in the bluegrass, and you see the difference in temperatures compared to 24 hours ago. Ahead of that front, 80-ish in East Tennessee. Meanwhile, along the I-70 corridor, mid-50s. That's much more like it for the early part of November. High pressure building in. We're going to see the clearing from north to south, but it's going to be a slow process, probably not happening until the early morning hours. If it clears out enough, mid-40s here in the bluegrass, you see low to mid-50s because of the cloud cover hanging for a while down south. Now, everyone gets back in the sun tomorrow afternoon, so we'll be back into the low to really even mid to upper 60s potentially. Rain chances over the next 5 days, solid on Sunday. So I mentioned the 50-50 weekend to come. Enough high pressure hanging on. Looking good on Saturday. I think after dark, the stuff picks up Saturday night into Sunday. And so it will be wet with some thunder potentially on Sunday. And rainfall totals now over the next week. This pretty much is the system that will impact our weather over the second half of the weekend. Could see upwards of an inch, say inch and a half. Updating the tropics here. Hurricane Rafael out in the central part of the Gulf of Mexico. But the trick is, it is moving westward. It is expected to weaken as it moves into a less favorable environment. And then check that out. Look at the curve to the south. So it's actually going to move away from the Gulf Coast, which is great news. Early next week, we're looking good. Temperatures are going to jog back to above average. Veterans Day looking nice. Same story for the day on Tuesday. And we really begin to spike it up, maybe into the low 70s, getting into the day on Wednesday ahead of another frontal boundary. And by then, we're talking temperatures good 15 degrees above average for that time of November. Slow clearing, cooling off, mid-40s here in the bluegrass, low to mid-50s down south. Tomorrow, good way to finish out the week. Mostly sunny, pleasant, 65 in the extended forecast here. Some wet weather around Sunday, drying out on Veterans Day, and then we'll kind of do it all again later next week. Notice through the period, though, temperatures above average with highs generally in the upper 60s and low 70s.